Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the Jacksonville. American super cruiser. This light cruiser after the Worcester line is absolutely incredible. One of the highest damage ceilings in the entire game. The ship has ridiculous DPM alongside an F key that massively boosts its farming potential over even Worcester. This ship does not need to run IFHE to pen battleships. That's what this F key is going to do for you. Plus 40% HE pen while it is activated. So with a base of 30 millimeters, we get up over 40 millimeters of pen here, 42 millimeters of pen, allowing you to, without reducing your fire chance, pen battleships. It is very, very powerful. You got to farm it up, of course, but that doesn't take too long because it's hit-based and the ship fires so quickly. Now, you guys know I'm a bit of an Annapolis and Des Moines enjoyer. The improved pen angle AP there is so nice to have. And Jacksonville does not have that. However, the AP here is still well worth using. You get like close to 10,000 alpha damage salvos every less than 5 seconds. It's absolutely crazy still. You just need to use it in the right scenario. It's mostly an HE farmer, and it is very, very strong still in 2026. I'm sure you didn't need me to tell you that. This ship is an absolute monster farmer. You probably have seen it, though, mostly in 3-man divs. A little cringe, in my opinion. Radar destroyer plus an Essex to smoke it up all the time. This ship doesn't need that to perform incredibly well, though it does bully everyone on the server if you are willing to do that. This ship has 396,000 HE DPM base. That is the second highest in the game, only after Colbert. Colbert does have like 592,000. A lot higher, but it doesn't have the pen. 30 mil pen base means, again, we're getting through cruiser armor, but the F key then allows us to easily get through battleships while retaining some of the highest fires per minute in the game. 21.6 is second only to GNAN. Worcester has 18.8 fires per minute, but if you take that build, you're not penning battleships with its alpha damage. That's the big upgrade here. This ship also has a few nice things where you heal back 50% of Citadel pen damage rather than only 33% on Worcester. That is nice, as this ship has a giant exposed Citadel, and you have to give 35 degrees of broadside to fire all of these guns. Maybe it makes sense why a lot of people want to smoke this ship up. You have to sit broadside on, or vulnerable enough that you're going to be eating Citadels if you want to fire all of these guns. And you want to, because that is the main strength here. Notice with this F key up, the stern section of the Yamato pretty easily gets penned. Not his deck armor. So you still have to pinpoint on some battleships, and then there's that fire chance coming into play. Absolutely crazy feeling having the alpha damage to pen through battleships while also having this fire chance. I've played a lot of Worcester in my time. I love that ship at tier 10. I've always found it to be quite powerful. But the deciding between running IFHE, not getting the fires, but valuing alpha damage versus less alpha damage on battleships and taking fires has always been a challenge. Not so here. Big upgrade. 9-kilometer radar still, so a little bit worse than something like Annapolis, Des Moines with their 10-kilometer radars, but still very useful. It's the same radar that we get off of the Worcester. Huge amount of AA. This ship does have pretty strong AA. A carrier can still strike through into you, though, notably, but they shouldn't go after you, in theory. You have some of the best AA in the game, so hopefully they are choosing someone else. This ship does have better shell velocity than Worcester. You wouldn't know it right now, because I'm just going to miss everything on this Los Andes. I don't know why I was aiming so poorly here, but we do actually have improved shelf times. So at 15 kilometers, it's 10.5 seconds of flight time, where with Worcester, it's a little over 11.5 seconds of flight time. So a second faster to 15 kilometers feels pretty good. We also have nearly 17 kilometers of range with a light cruiser. That is a lot. Please, you don't need to take range mod. I don't think this is very easily takeable, a reload mod. Max DPM is what we want. You can go lighthouse builds, that kind of thing too, although you're going to get a lot less value out of your radar then. In this case, that is what I'm doing, taking things like heavy HE to boost our HE damage, but also nerf our concealment. If you know about lighthouse builds, you know that that is going to also buff our reload anytime an enemy is spotted within our detection range. 8% reload buff there, pretty nice. I still want some concealment, and then I'm also taking the rudder mod in slot 5. That's why we're kind of dancing around a lot here. The rudder is very, very fast when we do this. It's like close to a 5-second rudder. Normally it's like 8.5 seconds, so not amazing. One of the reasons I like to take it is so I can angle in if I get caught by a battleship salvo. Now, of the American cruisers, these super cruisers, I do think Annapolis is a lot easier to play. It's got a little better armor, doesn't have to give quite as much broadside to fire all of its main guns, longer range radar. The AP gives you a few more options at closer range, and it also has a burst fire. It does not need to use its F key to actually pen battleships. The HE does that already. It's a little easier to use. Jacksonville, though, is still absolutely incredible to play as a pure HE farmer with some AP on the side. Notably, Annapolis does have a very weird citadel layout that makes for a bit of a trolly ship to actually land consistent citadels on. It's a lot of spaced armor there. Very thin at the front, so the bow citadels, overmatched citadels, are a little bit odd to hit as well. Jacksonville, on the other hand, giant box of a citadel, exposed, way above waterline, no spaced armor. You're going to take much more consistent damage in this ship. The upper belt is also not 30 millimeters, so you will struggle a lot more, I think, with Jacksonville to make it work. But I still love this ship just for the pure DPM output. It's weird because Annapolis is so close on DPM, yet this one feels like it just pumps out so much damage so quickly. Maybe just the improvements to its fire chance as well over something like Annapolis. I don't know. The guns certainly feel like they farm a little bit quicker, though I do feel like I'm lacking in that armor piercing. Of course, with a radar cruiser, we want to get up close to the enemy caps and radar the destroyer. In this case, not needed, but pushing up through islands, that is very, very useful. Rudder shift coming in clutch when we're not paying attention to our screen, and the torps pop up on us. Now, I'm sure you guys are aware at Super Ships tier, but this meta is very passive these days, especially since I last take a look at all of these Super Ships. It's been several years since I've even played the vast majority of them. You gotta play more aggressive to actually get your DPM online with Jacksonville. There's very little of, I can sit on a very safe common island at the very start of a game and then just farm as the enemy team pushes in. People know about Jacksonville and its DPM at this point, so you're gonna have to take more risks to really activate this ship's damage in the vast majority of games, which is harder, okay? It is definitely harder to do that. I still don't recommend range mod as a crutch for that because it's very difficult to lead at those really long ranges. I think this ship can make some very offensive plays and get away with it. Again, it is harder to do, but I really do value the just pure outright DPM. You can push aggressively and get yourself into some little bit troublesome situations, but if you're able to just take out the enemies around you, suddenly those troublesome situations aren't very concerning anymore. That's kind of the motto of a ship like Jacksonville, is that if I can sink you quickly enough, you're no longer a problem. And with the DPM we have, yeah, it is not too bad to do. Of course, we're always looking for opportunities to play aggressive while also having an escape route. Islands are often that. In this case here, we are using the island to cut off potential Jacksonville fire. We're angled to the enemy Preußen in spawn. We can isolate on this Minotaur a little bit more. Unfortunately, he angles to us. I really wanted a Death Strike. The AP here was not as powerful as I was hoping, or rather, I knew it wasn't actually going to be as powerful. So I wanted to swap over to the HE and still get some very good damage. I mean, we're already up to like 100k in this one pretty much in 5 minutes. The ship is an incredible farmer, even on a flank where it's been a little more passive. Look at where the Illinois is. I don't blame the Illinois, by the way. Poor tier 9s against super ships is not fair at all. But it's a little more passive. Preußen's been hiding behind the island, and yet we're still farming a ton of damage up. Doesn't take much time to actually get a huge amount of battle impact. Something else you should notice is that we're just not using this F key. There's no penalty to using it, right? So you can just use it on cooldown if you're unsure of armor values and whether or not it helps or hurts. Well, it doesn't never hurts you, but whether it helps you to actually pen the enemy ships you're dealing with. But in this case, a Preußen, it's not going to help us. His deck armor is too strong, and we're really just aiming for his superstructure. On the Illinois, it probably would have helped. Against the Minotaur, it would not. Against the Jacksonville, it would not. We already have enough pen for these ships. There's no point in using it. There's a little bit of a knowledge check if you are going to really optimize Jacksonville. You need to remember all the armor values, and that just comes with time. You got to do a lot of looking in the armor viewer if you're unsure. General rule, though, is light cruisers, you're going to full pen easily without it. Normal cruisers, heavy cruisers, most of them, you're going to pen without it. A lot of 30 millimeters of armor there. If it's a heavy cruiser that is more of a battle cruiser, there you might not even pen with your F key because they might have 50 millimeters of armor, let's say. There's a few with 40, like Petro, where the ship absolutely murders bow on Petros. It's really fun when you get that opportunity. Battleships, a good rule of thumb is if you have a British battleship, a French battleship, American battleship, just always use the F key because it's going to pen through deck armor, upper belt armor, bow, stern. You can just shoot them anywhere. Very, very valuable. But then, you know, against German battleships, it is less valuable. There's a lot to remember is what I'm trying to say. So you could just use this F key on cooldown against heavier ships and do all right on its own. But something like an Annapolis or a lot of the other cruisers don't have that sort of knowledge check required to get the most out of it. It's a little more of when should I burst a lot of the time on the ships that do have that burst fire. The carrier has been coming after us. Notice gets a few strikes through here and there, but generally, as mentioned, the AA here is quite strong, so they shouldn't go after you initially. Minnesota. Poor tier 9s, okay. Do I have to have this conversation every time we're playing these super ships? We're doing it a lot here, but tier 9s just don't belong here, man. This Minnesota's gonna get penned everywhere with this F key. Yeah, and we're getting so many fires here as well. Easily able to burst down this Minnesota and get behind the island then. Playing aggressive uses a lot of island cover. Notice how we're keeping the enemy Yamato, Aki, now Minnesota, all behind the island. This is so that we can isolate fights, and we can perform really well in these close range situations because we just out DPM pretty much everything in the game. Broadside Richthofen, and I want you to really notice how many shatters we're going to get here. This is the downside, okay? For me, this is maybe the reason why I love Annapolis so much, and maybe don't play a Jacksonville as much as I should, because this ship is absolutely incredible still. It's just the AP, man. It's so satisfying to find the broadsides and punish them, but the ship does an okay job, but 60 shatters, 60 plus shatters, I mean, well, we got the Confed though. Yes, Confed buffed Jacksonville. Halsey Confed gives us a 20% DPM buff. Absolutely ridiculous. And we do actually manage to get the Richthofen eventually. We want to use things like prop mod and rudder mod. Maybe a little bit less obvious if you're newer to the game, but maneuverability is much, much more powerful than concealment when you're just firing your guns and spotted all the time. The ability to get into good positions is why concealment is so valuable, but oftentimes it's really nice to get out of bad situations to avoid incoming fire with prop mod and rudder mod. In this case, allowing us to just barely avoid the enemy Aki pushing for us. A good play by his part because he would have one-shot us pretty easily at these ranges given our citadel size, but we can get away purely off of our maneuverability alone. That's why I love it so much. Open water matches, it's still very hard to play a Jacksonville, but it's a little more doable when you have rudder and prop mod. I really like it though for the ability to creatively use island cover with this ship. And all cruisers, to be honest with you. You really don't want to be taking fair fights against battleships. They're just going to one-shot you a lot of the time. So taking those uneven fights, using islands to your advantage, splitting in between the Yamato and Aki. Unfortunately, we don't quite get to get both of them, but this Kushiro should go down to us anyway. Now, this is an absolutely incredible cruiser. I think it's one of the best in the game by far. I may prefer some of the other ones, but just the pure damage output here is ridiculous, and you still get utility. So many cruisers that have good damage output don't get the utility of a radar, so their only battle impact is their damage. Here we have utility, and we still have just ridiculous damage output too. We'll collect the E and the Confed in this one, but not having to choose between fire chance and being able to pen battleships with your HE here is the massive strength, allowing you to always have what's best for the situation. Something like a Worcester can't always do that. We may as well also play a live one, as I love light cruisers. The more I play this game, the more I just love having a ship that, sure, it gets one shot when we play badly, but when we play well, the damage output is just so unbelievably powerful and consistent, rewarding us with some very good games. When playing these ships, you got to be very careful of open water. So spawning middle here, trying to go north. This island is not really that useful for a light cruiser. So we would really be going out here, and that is just too far. Okay, so that's where we are just heading towards the south. A very common island to take right here. You gotta be careful of the enemy team really hard pushing south, because if they get down to here, they can just farm us for free here, assuming there's a destroyer to spot us, that kind of thing. We'll have to be careful of that and want to be cautious, maybe ready to leave the situation if that's the case. We have ourselves a super ship game, but no super battleships. That's very good for us, but there is still a Colombo on our flank. That is a little scary. We'll wait and see if he actually does shoot at us. For now, though, just get the damage out here. Yamagiri is smoking up, so let's maybe even just slow down here. This is a little greedy in front of a Colombo. It seems we're going to actually stay lit. I do think that is from the ACAP. So let's get behind the island. Very simple. Try and cut off those angles. So Bungo likely going to be the one that... Actually, no, it wasn't from A. Lovely. We can sit here. This is sometimes a really good early position. Most people aren't going to play where this Salem is, but you're oftentimes going to get shots from here across that way. We went a little too far for that. That's because, like, Salem is spotting us. Iowa would be a good opportunity for us. Our team is really strong in the south, less so in the north, notably. So we're going to want to look for an opportunity to either head back and help or to push through. If I could get my guns over this island, Shovelocity's too good, then we could actually start farming this Salem down. There we go. This should go pretty quickly now that... we get the guns on them. So 15 Worcester guns is very powerful. If we hit... What is happening? I'm pretty sure I've clicked... Yeah, there we go. We're clicking on him. Is that the Salem? Or... I think that's in front of us, actually. So we're going to have to be very cautious of the Colombo shooting us from here, I think, is the big one. Salem should be... Yeah, on the AP. That's more like it. Kind of wondering about that. Yeah, the GQ Johnny. There we go. Colombo doesn't actually have an angle on us. So Salem should be getting citadels on us, in theory. 7,000! Okay, you got 8,000, sure. I mean, look at the HE pressure. Look at the pressure of this HE, man. It's crazy. Sure, Salem's got super heals, but... this is obviously not a great position for him to be in. And again, a position where we don't need the F key to do a lot of work. I probably should be focused a little more on south than I am, but I want to finish this guy off. Maybe Hydro, because there's a submarine here. Enemy Iowa pushing. Wait. Hold on. That is a perfect ship to show off the pen. Notably, our front two guns are 360, as are our rear two. The turret traverse is great, so it doesn't really matter that much, but it is very, very nice. I am going to lose some of my F key charge, though, unfortunately. It takes a little bit of time for that to go away, but you do lose it relatively quickly once it does start ticking down, as you can see. We should save half. Most battleships, and the reason I don't typically take IFHE on something like a Worcester, is that they have giant superstructures. You can just hit that anyway. It doesn't really matter. But... it's really nice to be able to just full pen them everywhere, because when you do hit like their stern section like that. All right, here we go. Now let the damage commence. Wasn't doing the best job of aiming there anyway. Now we just full pen everywhere, and we retain our fire chance. So this guy who just damage controlled should get some good fires on relatively quickly. Although if he goes broadside to the Slava, then I would expect he would die rather quickly. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. And the fire took a little bit, but we're up to 80k now. Shell's going a little lower than I would hope. Strange. There we go. And this lasts quite a while. So that's the other nice thing, is it's not like a very short duration F key. It makes for a very, very powerful ship. You have 40 seconds of that extra pen, which is usually enough to just do some massive damage to battleships. So we are traversing the map. We're gonna have to watch for a Bungo crossfire here, but notably the enemy team is pushing this way. You know, we want to deal with them pushing in rather than chasing. Chasing with a light cruiser Usually it goes quite terribly. We have enough HP that I am more than willing to open water. So we'll go after the Colombo for now. Vincent Colombo, pretty scary ships to deal with. Notice that Bungo is pretty low at this point. We're shooting well dark, which is really nice here. Not going to have that for the whole time. It's okay, though. Vincent next. We definitely don't want to just full push this, so we will start kiting. Who is shooting at us? That was Bungo, actually. Incoming fire alert. Pretty good skill, gotta say. Pretty good skill. Now, Jacksonville is within our range, so let's actually focus on him. I would love to do damage, right? Farm these battleships as they push, of course. Very, very good. But if we can take out the Jacksonville, that's a huge, huge help to our team. The ship, I know, is pretty scary from experience. Vincent gonna come around the corner here. Ideally, yeah, we can accelerate before that gets here. Angle, perhaps? Nice. So, just a little bit of overmatch pressure, no problem. Vincent, we should be able to pen. I think he has 40 mil deck armor. This one I don't really remember. See, that knowledge check. I will heal, though. We get the fires. Lovely. Can I greed this? I think so. A little bit. Angle like that. Yeah, we don't take too much then. Colombo's coming around the corner. Careful. Let's hydro, because we saw some torps. He, I think, underlet us, so I'm slowing down into this, so that's not a great job. But angled like this, notice I'm not greeting for all of my guns. We take a little bit of pressure here and there, but, you know, we're not eating citadels. Assuming we don't just full greed the entire time for our front guns. I will greed against the Los Andes. I do think that is worth. He's actually HE Los Andes. Okay, we got away with it. We got away with it. Nice. High cal already. And that is a Vincent farm down, I believe, through his super heal. Playing open water is less comfortable, obviously. Oh, no. He goes dark. He should go down, though, right? Yeah, nice. HE Los Andes still, sure. Now, I think Colombo is what we want. Definitely Colombo is what we want. Heal coming up soon. Is that going through the island? That's going through the island. That's funny. Colombo pushing, though. A little scary. Depends where he's looking. He's not looking at us. Cool. I'll take that heal. Fat-fingered my radar. That was bad. Colombo. Do we actually... Man, I talked about this knowledge check, and now I'm forgetting if we pen. We certainly will pen his extremities more. He's got a pretty small superstructure on that ship, so I think I'll still will use it. It won't really help against Los Andes, but that's okay. Nice 200k damage already, and do we finish? Not quite. There we go, we get him. Move on to the Los Andes here. And looks like our team wins this one. Cool. So, more just damage pressure out of this one, rather than... Oh, we do catch him. Okay, the fat-fingered radar was decent, but unfortunately not enough to... not enough to justify it being anywhere remotely okay of a play. How did you get lit? I think our Yamagiri lit him. Oh well. Hydro down. So we do not have any advanced knowledge. But this is, again, where it's really nice to have the rudder mod. Because we will see the torps very quickly. I think he's using the 20s. They're quite slow and they get spotted from the moon. Make sure we're aiming while we're also dodging. And our Yamagiri might spot him here, so we'll have to be ready to swap targets. Damage control from the Los Andes. So hopefully we can get a fire. It's much easier to lead these guns than Worcester, by the way. That is something I definitely notice. Hey, nice. We do get the fire. That's awesome. He turns, so now we're missing again. 226 is pretty good for a live game. It just farms so much damage. Not a huge... Oh, no. Yamagiri went that way. Not a huge utility game, I would say. Certainly, we've done much better in a lot of other ships with our radars in the past. But this is still a pretty good one, I would say. Helping out on the DDs where we can. Oh, he's stopping. No. I think I can't get him unless we blind fire it. Oh, there he is. No, someone else is going to get it. I mean, it's a bit of a steal on my part, but getting to 4 kills. Oh, I do steal it. Okay, 231, 4 kills. Not bad. It's just pure damage output in this one. And we did do some open watering. You saw if I stay in open water too long, yeah, we're going to go down to the overmatched battleships. But keeping the angle allowed me to, some of the time, avoid the Citadel salvos, and that way we could just damage them out before they could kill us. Pure damage race, and we often win those in a ship like this one. Oh! Hold for the Kraken? No, someone else's shells are going to get there first. Oh, and I hit the torp. Whoops. There's only one problem with Jacksonville, at least for me, okay? This is a very selfish problem, but I played 3 games of Jacksonville. You have seen 3 games of Jacksonville, and I have more than enough for a video showing off this ship doing incredibly well. This is a problem, okay? This is a problem, because Jacksonville's really fun, and I hardly got to play it. Very, very, very selfishly. It takes a while sometimes when the ship is mediocre, or I just don't vibe with the ship. It's not my favorite playstyle. It takes me a while to get a good game to show it off, because I do want to show a ship in its best light, you know, and then tell you my experience with it. Well, we can see at least a good example of what the ship can do, even if I find it to be a not great ship. When it's a good ship, it's like I spend no time with it, and then I spend all my time on mediocre ships that I don't personally vibe with very much. Makes for a less enjoyable gaming experience, I guess. But Jacksonville's great, okay? That is an okay problem to have for a ship like this one. Here is the build that I was running on it. I really like this build. I've been really loving taking steering gears prop mod on my cruisers here. That, you know, sacrificing a little bit of concealment. Not too bad, but a little bit of concealment for that really nice rudder shift time, hopefully allowing us to dodge some salvos, that kind of thing. And then here is the commander build. We already have so many consumables that I don't feel like I need superintendent. I would much rather try and fit some of these damage upgrades, notably not getting outnumbered. Outnumbered's very nice, but I still want some concealment. This is kind of a build that I've been really enjoying using. Not taking consumables upgrades here. The reload one is pretty good. Didn't really swap over to EP in this one much, so probably a good idea to just go for a consumable specialist. The duration, though, very valuable on your hydro. It's just nice to have. But with the radar, especially with radar mod already, let's be honest. If the enemy destroyer is still alive within your radar after 40 to 50 seconds, they just shouldn't be, okay? The way the damage output works is you don't need more time to actually finish them off. Typically, the enemy destroyer is going to leave your radar or they are dead in the time you already have allotted. So boosting that is less valuable. The hydro is nice, though. Here is the armor layout, 25, 30. You get overmatched, okay? It's a box. The Citadel is a gigantic box, very wide. So there's no broadside tech at close range where, oh, it'll overpen through that you can do as a lot of light cruisers. This one's wide enough that you're going to get dev struck, so you got to be very careful of that. This is kind of the difference with Annapolis. Upper belt 30, less useful these days with all the 457, but still very nice to have. And then your Citadel is very weird with Annapolis. This spaced armor, you wouldn't think it's actually that valuable because 15 gets overmatched by everything. Yet this ship just does not eat Citadels like a Des Moines or a Jacksonville or a Worcester does. It's very weird. And then because it's so thin at the front here, oftentimes when they're angled like this, you know, pushing you, and you overmatch the 27 mil bow here, you can pretty easily pinpoint the Citadel on something like a Des Moines, Jacksonville as well. Good example, because it's just so wide. It's the whole width. With Annapolis, that's not really the case, because if it goes a little right, there's no Citadel actually here, even though there's armor belt. You have to hit kind of the side closest to you. It's really weird. So Jacksonville, what I'm trying to say, does not have those troll armor benefits. The ship will get absolutely smashed if you make a mistake in it. But it's very powerful, and I love light cruisers. The more I play them, the more fun I have, because if I take the enemy out before I die, I mean, that's a great way to play defense too, right? Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Jacksonville 2026, insane ship still. A lot of these super ships are, but nice to take a look at them again after so many years of not playing them. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.